The night outside was electric, the city glowing with millions of golden lights. Inside the luxury car, the silence between her and Adrian wasn't empty, it was heavy with unspoken fire. She sat in the back seat, her white transparent silk dress shimmering like liquid moonlight, every curve of her body outlined beneath the soft glow. Adrian leaned back against the leather seat, his black suit jacket undone, his blue eyes locked on her with a hunger he didn't bother hiding. His hand rested casually close to hers, close enough to touch but far enough to tease. She stole a glance at him, lips parting, her heartbeat skipping. He noticed. He always noticed. The car slowed to a stop in front of Adrian's penthouse tower. When she stepped out, the slit of her gown revealed her smooth leg, and the cameras waiting outside exploded in flashes. Whispers spread like wildfire. Who was she, this goddess wrapped in white fire? And who was the man beside her who looked at her like she was the only thing that mattered? Adrian took her hand firmly, pulling her against him as they walked through the lobby. His presence shielded her, but his touch burned with possession. Every man's eyes turned, but none dared approach. She wasn't just beautiful, she was untouchable, because she belonged to him. From the shadows outside, Liam watched. His gray eyes were stormy with regret and envy. He saw her radiant in the diamonds, her silk gown clinging to her body, her smile soft but no longer for him. His chest tightened with an ache he couldn't swallow. Once, he had laughed at her for pretending to be more. Now she stood as everything he could never have. The elevator ride was quiet, but charged. Adrian didn't speak. Instead, his gaze consumed her. When the doors opened into his penthouse, the view hit her first, the skyline stretched endlessly, glass walls reflecting the glow of the city. But before she could take it in, Adrian's hand slid along her waist, pulling her close. "You know," he whispered, his lips grazing her ear, "every man downstairs wanted you. But you looked only at me." Her breath caught as she turned to face him. His piercing eyes softened for a fraction of a second before darkening again with something deeper: need, possession, love. He kissed her. Not gently, not hesitantly, but with all the fire he had held back the entire night. Her back arched against the glass, the city lights blazing behind them. The transparent silk of her gown glowed like starlight as his hand gripped her waist, sliding lower, claiming her completely. The kiss deepened, passionate, consuming. Her fingers tangled in his dark hair, her body pressed into his as though they were flames meant to burn together. The glass wall behind them trembled faintly, the city beyond unaware of the inferno blazing inside. When he finally pulled back, his lips hovered above hers, both of them breathing hard. "You're mine," he murmured. "Not because of the diamonds." The auction hall buzzed with golden light, crystal chandeliers scattering brilliance across the room. Guests in tailored suits and glittering gowns whispered among themselves, their eyes darting between the stage and the shadow of competition rising with each new bid. She walked in, the girl once mocked, now transformed into a vision that silenced the entire room. Her white transparent silk dress clung perfectly to her curves, shimmering under the chandeliers like fire caught in moonlight. The slit revealed a flawless length of her leg as she moved with quiet confidence, every step measured, every glance commanding. All whispers turned into gasps. Liam, her past ghost, stood near the stage, dressed sharply yet overshadowed, his confidence faltering as soon as his gray eyes landed on her. Memories of the prom, of his cruel words about her fake crown, slammed against him. But tonight, she was no imitation. She was brilliance personified. The bidding for the royal diamond necklace grew heated. Liam pushed forward, his voice louder with every increase, desperation written across his face. He wanted the diamonds, not for beauty, not for meaning, but for power, for pride. Then, a sudden silence. "Anonymous bidder, $3 million, the host announced. The room erupted in gasps. Liam froze, his knuckles white against the bidding paddle. The necklace, glittering like the night sky itself, was carried across the floor. It did not stop at Liam's table. It was placed in front of her. She rose gracefully, her dress glowing with a transparency that revealed yet concealed, both angelic and dangerously tempting. Every head turned as she fastened the diamond necklace around her neck, the gems resting just above the soft curve of her chest. Flashing cameras captured her transformation. The girl once mocked for wearing a fake chain was now draped in royal diamonds. But the moment wasn't hers alone. Beside her, Adrian stood. Tall, powerful, magnetic in his black Armani suit. His blue eyes softened only when they fell on her. He leaned close, his lips brushing against her ear as he spoke loud enough for Liam to hear. A diamond deserves to be worn only by the woman who already shines brighter than it. The words sliced through Liam like a blade. His face paled, his breath shallow. She turned slightly, her lips curving into a knowing smile. Adrian's hand slid along the small of her back, pulling her gently against him in front of everyone. Heat rushed through her body, not from the diamonds, not from the stairs, but from the undeniable pull between them. Liam's silence was suffocating. The once laughing boy now stood shattered in the shadows, as cameras flashed, immortalizing her victory. Adrian kissed her temple softly, the gesture both intimate and public. She closed her eyes for a brief second, savoring it. For the first time, she felt not just seen, but cherished. The girl mocked for imitation jewelry was gone. Not because of the world watching, but because no one has ever burned inside me the way you do. Her heart raced, her hazel eyes shining with tears she didn't expect. She whispered, "And you're mine. Always." Adrian smiled, rare, dangerous, beautiful, before lifting her effortlessly into his arms. The slit of her dress fell open, revealing more of her as he carried her through the penthouse. She laughed softly, but her laughter was threaded with desire. He laid her gently onto silk sheets, the moon pouring light over her body through the glass walls. The diamonds around her neck sparkled, but they were nothing compared to the glow in her eyes. She reached for him, pulling him down, and as his lips found hers again, the world outside ceased to exist. Below, in the rain-soaked street, Liam looked up at the glowing penthouse window. His fists were clenched, his face pale. He had mocked her once. Now, he could only watch as she became untouchable. A goddess of fire and silk, loved by a man far greater than him. For her, there was no more past. No more shame. Only the heat of Adrian's love, the diamonds resting on her chest, and the knowledge that she was no longer the girl mocked for wearing a fake crown. She was the queen of her own destiny.